Hello, besties. It's I, Weaver, your distant father, or stepfather, depending on how you're feeling today. I was going to release this in like 2 weeks, but a lot of the people that are already in Launchapalooza are like ahead, so I wanted to get this ahead and start them moving on the critique thing. So, Launchapalooza. What is Launchapalooza? I'm just going to go over this real quick. Just so you're unaware, you can join up until December 4th. I think December 2nd, 3rd is the cutoff. I don't suggest you do that, but you could. Someone's going to say that I'm going to do that. But yes, it is. What is Launchapalooza? It's a beginner-friendly way to plan out a book launch on Umbrella Road or novelize it. It's an official novelizing event. You got that. Novelizing is up right now. If you need an invite, you can drop a comment here. I'll get you an invite to novelizing. We are about 2 months out. I'm doing this on September 23rd. There are 99 days left in the year. Should have done this on the 22nd because that would have been the nice 100. But September 22nd, 100 days in the year left, 99 days. Now, which means that if we subtract, we're like 2 months out. So like 65 days. If you write a chapter a day, you will have the backlog to last you until January 31st, something like that. Plus then, and then some. And then whatever you write during it. Because the intent is for you to build up a backlog of chapters, release consistently over 2 months, and then get into an easy rhythm of releasing more chapters, depending on how long your book's going to be. I'm releasing a book that's going to be about 32 chapters, so it's going to have a weird thing, and if I get my second one going, I will do 2 books. What do you need to do? Right now, build a backlog. So this is a motivational video for you to understand. I've already started doing some critiques of some of the newer writers, and I'm kind of blown away by what I've seen so far, especially some people that I've critiqued a while back and they've gotten better. Like the Dogfish is like, he did a lot better. And I know I gave him a lot of motivation before to get better. But like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to read the first 3 chapters of everything and identify if there's someone where I need to help them more. What you can do as a participant is find someone whose work is similar to your work, or find someone whose work you like and critique them. And eventually, like, the idea is that you're going to read the first 3 chapters of their book. If you guys are kind of like meshing, if they read your work, you read their work, then you can form a critique group, with the idea being that the 2 of you will read the whole of each other's books, and then if you guys, as alpha readers, you're critiquing their work, and then you guys can, like, if there's 3 or 4 of you guys in a group, like, you're all like reading through the end. So like, if there's a plot issue, you can be like, hey, I'm having a plot issue in chapter 20, and you've got a couple of people that have read up to chapter 20, so that by the time this gets out, it's been through alphas, and you're on it, right? I generally do, so outside of this, there's 3 types of critiques I do. So my critique is ship it to a publisher. This is good, I think could be better. Or I stopped reading at this point, right? And basically, everything I saw was like, okay, I'm just gonna do a couple of little edits here to show you for readability, but like not much. And I'm gonna put the thumbnail is going to be the bingo card that we generated, because 3 out of the first 3 that I read are doing the italics POV thing, where they are in 3rd person, either tight or 3rd person omni, but then they give 1st person asides in italics, and I'm just like, I've only seen that work once. And just to be specific, that was Runebound Professor. That's the only place I've seen that work, and I know it was italics, and I've only listened to the audiobooks. All right, so like, don't do it. um, but yes, that is the purpose of this month. So we have what we've done is we've set up the I have not launched before crowd, and then the I have one fiction crowd, but it hasn't done so well so far. Those are the people I want to help as much as possible first, and then once I've read all of those, which is like 24, then I'm gonna move on to the other ones, and then like the people that are like level 4 or 5, or group 4 or 5, you don't need my help so much. So you want the work to come across clear, and I think I've talked to some of you guys about, especially Beat, my buddy Beat, who was on the villain panel with. So have you heard of this 10,000 hours thing? I can imagine like you have to work 10,000 hours to become an expert in something, right? I forget who it was that said it, but like the 10,000 hours starts from the time that you start writing with the audience in mind. And so I was talking to Beat, and I'm like, you need to think about how someone is reading this, right? And when I put in an edit for clarity, I'm trying to make it so that of all the 100 people that come and read your work, none of them are going to leave because it was unclear. Does that make sense? Right? You have to think about the experience of the reader, right? And like I understand literary fiction, sometimes it's obscured or sometimes it's like unclear. I tend to try to say like, okay, if there's going to be something that's unclear, it's going to be a plot issue that I saw with characters, right? So think about that. Think about, there is a book, it's called Universal Fantasy, and there are things that people are looking for. Apparently they're looking for pets that like to learn how to cook, or companions that like to learn how to cook, and then that being a surprise, because I just found that in Star Wars Skill Grinder, there was a companion that learned how to cook out of nowhere, and I've seen it so many times that like the pet or the companion, it's like, I'm going to be a chef, and we're just like, okay. But like that's like a trope that people are looking for. So if there are genre conventions that are specific to your thing, right? Like happily ever after, overpowered person, mentor, mentee, save the cat, right? What are those things? What are the things that your reader wants to see? All right, think about that as you are doing that. And if you can identify those things in your work, and you don't see the kind of things in your critique partner's work, like, hey, I don't know if this doesn't work for me, but if you can't kind of explain that, that's going to be more difficult, right? So think about the things that work for you, the reasons that you read something. Like, it's not just numbers go up. You want to read a story because of X, Y, and Z. And if you cannot express what X, Y, and Z is, then it's going to be more difficult. But that is it. This is a little early. So October, critique somebody else's work. Ideally, it would be like about 10 people inside of Launchapalooza. And then optional is to form a group or join a group if you have not one, and they're already there and they're already motivated to look at your work. So why don't you see if there's somebody who you click with, right? And then if you are really into someone's work, meme their work, because there's no higher form of art than puns and memes. That is it. So the next assignment is going to be in November, but that is more hype people up. So hype them up by giving them a meme, reading their stuff and telling them that they did well. And even if they need some work, just be like, hey, this is actually pretty good. Let's fix this thing. Or this would be better if X, Y, and Z. Try to be constructive with your feedback. If you can't be constructive, make sure they're ready.